Alright, so the new Gemini hero decks. First to start off with 3 Neos Alias, 3 Crusaders, double Thunder King, triple Noble Knight Gwaine, 1 Stratos, triple Gemini Scorpion, 1 Honest, 1 Bubble Man, double Emergency Call, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Reinforcements, triple Miracle Fusion, 1 Monster Reborn, double Mystical Space Typhoon, triple Gemini Spark, double Super Poly, and for the traps, you have double Bottomless, 1 Hero Blast, 1 Mirror Force, 2 Call the Haunted, and the Solemn team. And for the extra deck, we have 1 Great Tornado, 1 Nova Master, 2 Shinings, 1 Escarado, 1 Absolute Zero, 1 Hero Gaia, 1 Shockmaster, 1 Armor Ninja, 1 Palperative, Photon, I can't say his name, 1 Excalibur, 1 Palidinamo, 1 Symphony Dijin, Daigastu Emerald, and Gagaga Cowboy. Now, if you've seen the video to this deck, you know how it works. It's basically like the old Gemini deck, where you would have Elemental Hero and Crusader, and you could stop them. It's a really trap-heavy deck. The original one was where you would run triple Dimensional Fissure, and well, you would run double Mirror Force, obviously triple Mystical Space Typhoon, because the objective of it was to have out high 1900 attack monsters who would destroy people through Honest, Miracle Fuse with Ocean. I personally hate Ocean, he's terrible. Bubble Man is way better. And if they decide to destroy your Geminis, you chain Gemini Spark to it, so you get to deny them. Like if they want to use Dark Hole, you stop them with the Gemini Spark. If they activate a opponent's effect, you activate Gemini Spark. You go +1 and destroy a monster on the field, or a trap card. The Gemini Spark's great. Though the new Gemini heroes, this one is more about bringing out XYZ monsters. Level 4s, Daigastu Emerald. His second effect, where you target 1 non-effect monster in your graveyard and special summon it, does work on Gemini monsters, because it triggers normal monsters while in the graveyard. So you can bring him out and Gemini Spark him if you want, or do another rank 4 summon. But this guy, he's just too weak for his effect. I don't know. I'd probably replace with something else. His second effect isn't really that great. And oh yeah, so basically Noble Knight, if you control a light normal monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. This deck, you never want to actually gain their effects, because there's no point in doing it. So they'll always be a normal monster while on the field. So you just use Noble Knight's effect, and you can special summon him, and have a free... well, not a free, it's 2 cards from your hand if you do it. So yeah, you would special summon this card, and you could get out a rank 4. Gemini Scorpion. The good thing about this guy is he's a warrior type monster, and he's level 4, so rank 4 monsters. And his effect is when he's normal summoned or special summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Gemini monster from your hand. So these 2 cards. Now what's great about his effect is that it can be activated when he's special summoned. So if you have a face down Call the Haunted, and they want to destroy it with like a Mystical Space Typhoon, you could chain Call the Haunted to it, bring out Gemini Scorpion, and then special summon one of your Gemini monsters from your hand with his effect. Then he would get destroyed anyway. Or same thing with Monster Reborn, bring him from the graveyard, special summon one of these guys from your hand, and then special summon this guy from your hand. It's all about special summon monsters from your hand, kind of like a typical Shockmaster deck. Not too much graveyard control, so it's not really the best deck in the world. Basically, the only thing you have with the graveyard is a Miracle Fusion, where you can fuse those cards if they're in your graveyard already. Hero Blast can easily be replaced with basically anything else, because it only works on Neos Alias to return them to your hand. Because you do want to return cards to your hand, so you might just want to substitute this out for a Hero Lives, because it can target Noble Knight and Gemini Scorpion and Alias, plus, of course, the Elemental Heroes, Bubble Man, and Stratos. What is it? A Hero Lives. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Actually, would this card be good in this deck? Huh. It might actually. Did I spell warrior wrong? Nope. Return. Yeah, I think I did. Whatever. It's a card where it has no cost, and you can just add a warrior type monster from your grave to your hand. That would probably work good in here too. Honest obviously works great in here because besides these guys, all your other monsters are light type. So Honest is amazing in this deck. It can also be Miracle fused into a Shining, which is your #1 card you want to go for. You always want to go for a Shining if possible, because you're only bringing out this guy with, well, you have Super Poly, of course, as well, with Miracle Fusion most of the time, and you want to send out Alias or Stratos if you can, so that you can add Stratos back to your hand. And yeah, so Hero Blast, which I was originally talking about, can be replaced. Same thing with Gemini Spark. Even though this is a Gemini deck, these guys are being actually like ranked for Exceed summoned a lot, so this card isn't really necessary. I just really like this card. You can easily just substitute these three for 3 compulsory evacuation device, because that would be actually probably a lot better to do. You don't want to add Pawn of Duality in here because it's all about swarming from your hand and special summoning. But even then, if you don't mind waiting a turn, you could probably still add that. Then also Photon Lead works okay in this deck, but you're already special summoning from your hand enough. So I mean, if this card brought out a level 4 light monster from your graveyard, it would be amazing. You'd want to run 3 of these, but it brings it out from your hand, so it's not that great. Thunder King is just good in any deck, especially one like this where you're trying to stop your opponent. And Thunder King, obviously you want to use your Reinforce, Stratos, or E-Call before you put this guy into play. Call the Hunted, just a great card. Works really good in this deck, especially if you target Gemini Scorpion. Bubble Man, I always use him over Ocean, because Ocean's effect almost never goes off, because he's stupid. Basically, the only way to get Ocean's effect off is if you call the Haunted him before your standby phase, so that you can add a hero monster to your hand. Because this guy never lives on the field for that long. While his Bubble Man can special summon himself from your hand, which happens more than you'd think, even with all these monster heavy cards, because this deck swarms your hand pretty fast with Noble Knight and Gemini Scorpion. So if this is the only card in your hand, you can special summon him. And the reason I think these are the only 2 Elemental Hero water type monsters. No, there's one more, but he sucks. He's terrible. These are the 2 best water type monsters, and you want him for Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, because this is the best Elemental Hero fusion monster. When he's removed from the field, you destroy all monsters on your opponent's side of the field. That's just a great effect. But you only need 1. You only need 2 Shinings because you run a ton of light monsters. Shiny the 2nd best. Or some might even argue he's better than Absolute Zero. But these 2 cards are the best. Followed probably by Nova Master, Great Tornado, Gaia Knight, and Escarado is terrible. Now, for the... did I miss anything? Super Poly is great in this deck. You can fuse your opponent's monsters. Any monster, since you have all of these, and since you ran a lot of Elemental Heroes. Or if you have out one of your XYZ monsters, and one of these guys, and you attacked with both of them already, like a Blade Armor, if you attack twice, and you have a Shining out and he attacks, you can use Super Poly during your battle phase to attack again. I don't think I forgot to talk about anything other than the XYZ monsters. Shockmaster is great. Blade Armor is great. This card's okay. This card's great. This card's okay. This card's great. This card kind of sucks. And this card's great. So you can easily replace Daigastu, Emerald, and Photon Butterfly with any other 2 that you think would work better in this deck. I don't ever play this against actual competitive decks like Elemental Dragons or Spellbooks, so this card is actually useful. But if you're playing against a top tier deck, what you'd want to do is replace these with 2 good cards. I can't think of any off the top of my head. You'd want to get rid of these 3 and replace them with evac devices. And you probably want to get rid of a Hero Blast. And probably put in another Mirror Force or a Torrential Tribute. And side deck, this is just cards I was playing around with. You can see I took out Dark Hole, because Dark Hole, it's not really as useful as you'd think. I don't know, I still like it on occasion, but on a swarm deck like this, where you're almost guaranteed to swarm your field on your first turn, you're not really going to have an opportunity to Dark Hole all that often, and it's better used with an actual good card. No Parallel World Vision. Alright, that's it. That's the new Gemini Hero deck. Basically the new one just because it uses XYZ monsters instead of pure fusions like the old one did. The old Gemini Hero Monsters deck, actually, do I have one or did I overwrite it? Yeah, I overwrote it. I had the old one up here too. So yeah, that's it.